Happy Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, I know. Today is the emotional detox day.
The emotional detox day. So, can we just tell people why we're here and why we care?
Because it's incredibly important for every aspect of your health. Yeah. So I'm Dr. Kara. This is Dr. Hillary. We are old friends, and we come together to talk about various topics. This week we're doing a detox because it's springtime. And one of the big issues with detox is that our emotions are part of our issues for each one of our little cells. So we're here today to try and help you to do the emotional detox as well as the full body detox.
So, we're in the business of helping women get pregnant and helping people support. We've been naturopathic doctors and acupuncturists for I don't know, really long time. I'm trying to get. I'm sorry, I'm triggered. I think clean this area and it's making me a little crazy. Sorry, I'm just gonna do
So
that.
this is the clean your clutter part of the detox. We'll do that maybe next
Oh my
time.
gosh, I was like, but I just got some new pads that I'm very excited about to help me get organized, but they were like out in my studio. So Kara and I have come together. We've created something called Cultivate Fertility that we've been at for a while, working with women trying to all over the world, trying to get them pregnant. And one of the biggest things that we see is that women are toxic and some holding and carrying toxicants from the environmental pollution, as well as stress from the fertility journey, stress from just being on the planet. Today I was in the car driving my daughter to school and just listening to what comes up on the radio for the 5 minutes that I was unconsciously talking to her and organizing this stuff in the car and just hearing what's coming. And I was just like, how can anyone actually feel excited about life if they're listening to like NPR or the news? It was just like crazy. It was this like rifling of like bop 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 bop, and Paige was like, "Oh my god."
You know, that's so funny. That's so funny because yesterday is, one of my clinic days where I'm doing acupuncture and stuff actually in office location. And so at my office, one of the people I was working with, and she's trying to get pregnant and she's going into a new round of IVF. And I was talking to her about it, and she kind of came in, you could tell her face is kind of little flat, like she's not like pumped about life, right? And it's sunny here and it's spring and so I kind of knew, oh, she's feeling down, And so I'm talking to her, I'm like, so tell me about what you're doing in your very long drive. Our drive is 45 minutes back and forth to both me and the reproductive endocrinology office, but she has to go to a number of times for this IVF process. And she tells me she's listening to NPR, and I'm like, so
Well, and like,
what else could we listen to?
I mean,
And then she said sometimes a podcast. And, I just want to say that, true crime podcasts are really fun to listen to, but maybe not when we're in these emotional states of doing hard things and we're feeling disappointed and we're wishing we were pregnant, and it's kind of like that hard time. Like maybe we need to listen to some comedy, ridiculous podcast, or a book. Like I listen to a book a lot when I drive. And so those are the better things. The actual news is good to just completely avoid while you're trying to go through hard things. And it is really interesting that I think all of us really want to be informed. And Hillary, you and I always tell people this, like, you don't need to know anything. You can be at the dinner party and not know who the new prime minister is or what's going on with the war in Eastern Europe or anything. You can not know anything. It's okay to be just totally out of the loop for a little bit while you're going through hard times, right? And so I think we want to know what's happening, and we want to be on top of things because it's important. These things are important to us. But when you're struggling with something, whatever that may be, and I'm having this kind of like emotional state where I'm not fully in balance and I don't feel like so happy in my life every day, then maybe those are the times to totally cut it out. And it's hard to do because there is some part where we're kind of addicted to getting this information and our scrolling and all that kind of stuff. But, getting off the Instagram feed and all of that is something we talk to people a lot about, right? We're all about it.
I really worry that she was listening to a podcast on fertility, right? So then you're just listening
Right,
to more processing and
right,
what can I know and what can I master
right.
and what can I figure out. And at some point, we want our people to get off the information highway and to get on the like really feel good, nourishing yourself, because
Mhm.
many women that we work with wake up and they wake up and their alarm goes off or whatever. Many of them have been underslept, and they wake up and you go like, oh my God, what do I have to do? And like the very first thing most people do is they grab their phone, and then they start to just, the emails come in, the texts come in, whatever. And I live on the West Coast. Kara's on the East Coast. Kara and I have this project together. So she's always 3 hours ahead of me working at least, right? So
Yeah,
even if I wake up at 5:30,
yeah.
she's been up doing hours of work. So I wake up to text like ding, 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 boom, boom, boom. And Kara and I have gotten on the phone before, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, I haven't even said a sentence yet. Like I can't process. And she's 3 hours in. So it's like, it's my job. It's not her job. It's my job to like wake up, take a breath, say my first words, or say my prayers or my mantras or my vision for the day. Like I'm going to visualize that things are fun and easy and I'm in the flow, and that life is weaves beautifully in and out, instead of like, oh, I'm already behind her. Oh my God, there's so much
Yeah.
to do. And it's such a difference if you spend the first
Mhm.
5 minutes just with yourself, like just with yourself, to try to calm yourself down. So there's these things called our stress hormones. And we always say the stress hormones so directly influence your sex hormones. So, like, if you're having any infertility, or even if you're going through perimenopause or menopause, like, so if it's like you're through your fertility journey, it's still our stress hormones dominate our sex hormones, meaning that our estrogen and progesterone and testosterone are totally influenced by cortisol, norepinephrine, epinephrine. Those two aren't, are more neurotransmitters, but they totally influence our stress.
Definitely. And there's that progesterone steal that I think is really important with the stress hormones, right? Is that if that cortisol's up, your body will literally steal and transform all your progesterone to more cortisol because your body's set up to survive. We live in a really different world than our bodies were kind of trained in, right? So if you need to run, you need that cortisol. I don't know how many of you like in your life need to run in the day, but like I never need to run. I have to push myself to go on a run, which is like 0 times. But it's like our bodies are set up to react to stress in a very acute, fast way. So if we have this high cortisol, it'll pull all the progesterone because who needs progesterone if you're super stressed out? You don't need it, right? You don't need to make a baby. You don't need to grow a baby. That is not where we want to put our resources. Forget it. We don't need progesterone. We need cortisol because guess what? We need blood flow to our brains and our peripheral muscles to run. And we need to think like, how do I avoid that thing that's actually going to kill me? Like we're not really, I hope, that you out there are not living a life where you're feeling like that kind of stress, but our bodies don't know the difference. It's like the little stresses of our daily lives add up and cause our body to react the same way. So it's a really big deal, this whole stress piece. And that's the emotional detox, right? So
It's a really big deal.
it's a really big deal.
And so, and whenever we talk about hormones, like a lot of the women that we work with individually get very confused, because for a lot of them, we're actually rehabbing their stress hormones. They've had so much stress that they're actually burnt out. And so this is all about the just right levels, that
Mhm,
you use cortisol in the way it's meant to work in your body. It's meant to help
mhm.
you make good decisions. It's meant to help you drive your energy to get stuff done. And so we want to use each hormone like for good and get things properly balanced. So in the spring, and we just kind of bringing it back, spring is the best time to shed layers of all the different like packing that we do in the winter. So yes, like physically, like shed a few of the just winter pounds, but emotionally shed kind of some of the stuff that just when you're inside and you feel a little slower, you don't feel as excited, or you're just a little bit more sluggish. Like spring is the time when we shoot up and we come alive, and it is a great time for fertility. It is a great time for just rejuvenation. I'm not trying to make a baby, but I am most certainly trying to detox the winter months so that I can kind of transition into my lighter, freer, more fun, more bright body that I like to be in the summer. So I'm not just talking about weight. I'm talking about emotionally, that I feel
Mhm.
like the energy of the spring and summer, that it flows through me more fun. I'm more creative. I'm more active. I'm with my friends. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And that, a lot of times to transition women from their winter to their spring, a detox is really appropriate. And,
And
and detox is like the shedding of, right?
right. And so when Doctors in Demand, when we came together and said, let's just like get this information out there and try and help women out, there really is an intersection between us getting people ready for having babies and rejuvenating ovaries and egg quality and anti-aging. So it's the same medicine, right? It's basic health, and it's pumping up your body to repair and be in the best shape. So what we did here is it's literally the same supplements we use for fertility, and there's research we use for anti-aging and longevity, and you feel better and you have more energy and you can run that extra mile. It's literally the same thing. So that's what we're talking about here. So no matter what you're working on, and if you're listening here, you can actually change the way your body is showing up. And how you're what we're talking about today is that emotional piece. So um I'm the more nerdy one, Hillary's the more fun one. So I looked at the research on the blue zones, and I just want to bring it back to that anti-aging research, where there's 5 areas of the world where the most percentage of those populations make it to be over 100, which is really impressive. And we should talk to these people and ask them, what did they do in their lives? Who are they? What makes them pump? Like, what's happening with these people? Because we all want to be one of these people, right? And you see this in your own life. So
Yep.
if you're, listen to this. If you know someone who changed their life, maybe they were in a bad marriage, they got a divorce, they got a new job, they got a new partner, they got whatever organized, and all of a sudden you see them and you're like, wow, you look 10 years younger. So everyone knows what I'm talking about. This is completely possible and this is real. All the time when people go through our 30-day detox program, they come back and tell us, I have more energy. My skin is better. People are telling me I look younger. Like I just feel so much better. So this stuff really does work. And so today, in looking at the research on the blue zone, those people who get to be really old, they all have daily activities, daily rituals that help them deal with stress. So it's not that these blue zones, they don't have the same exact stresses we all do. They're human beings. This is part of the human condition. This is like real. We all have the same stresses. It's how you react to them and how you're prepared to react to them that's our point today. And so these people have daily rituals where they can deal with stress better than the rest of us, and they don't get hung up on emotions and over processing them. They move through it easier. So we're going to give you a few ideas of these rituals that you can incorporate into your own life so you can be more like these people who get to be really old and they're really healthy. And
So
that's the point, right? We all have emotions, but just some people get stuck in them, and it's like taking them over and affecting their health and their blood flow and everything, and they just look tired. You know these people, and I'm hoping that you can reverse this if this is happening to you.
So let's talk about, I love this question. How do we control excessive production of cortisol? So that's like, how do we control our runaway train stress hormones where things start to feel out of control? And people can really get symptomatic. They can feel it in their heart. They can feel it in their stomach. They can get sweaty. People get a little bit feeling anxiety is definitely a symptom of having too much stress hormone. So
What happens to me? I don't want to eat. anything. I completely lose my appetite, and then I know, like, I'm in a stress state because usually I wanna eat all the time.
And what
Does this
happens
help, right, for me?
is I want to eat chocolate ice cream in the morning, and then I have a coffee, and then I have more ice cream, and then I do something else, and then I want potato chips. So like I just am like, I'm going to eat my way through this, right? So
Oh, you could
that's
have an
not
affogato and, like, combine all those things.
yeah. So what the first thing that we're going to do, just the first practical tip, and this takes practice. It's a setup. So we ask for people during our programs to sleep with their phone not next to them, outside in another room. And it is so crazy how many people report better sleep if their phone is outside the room.
Mhm.
So like get an old school alarm clock, figure out a different way to wake up. You don't have to have your phone, okay?
Wait, let's tell them about why, though. Like, there really is research on this, like, just so I have my cell phone right here, and it just went off. I'm literally on live with you, and I looked at it because I was like, "I'm gonna miss that text from that person," you know? Just having this self I'm clearly focused on you, Hillary, but it was there, and just my brain knew it, so it does a stress response. My cortisol spikes, and I have to look at it because 'cause I'm expecting that text. So, you
Dopamine.
have to get it out of the room. Your body knows, your peripheral vision knows, you know it's there, so you do get these spikes of cortisol, and the data is, like, there on that, we're not making it up, you have to get it out of the room. It's not on airplane mode, that doesn't do it, it needs to be out where you don't see it, it's not in your presence, you don't kinda glance at it, nothing, gone.
And we did a stress hormone challenge, and that was the one thing, that was the first day's homework. Like,
Yeah.
okay, ladies, we're just going to do this. And I think there were probably 35 or 40 people going through that challenge. And it was crazy the next day. We were like, so what did you feel? And over the end, I think the thing that people reported the most change
Yes.
was not having the cell phone in the room. So we
And
want
that night, remember? People wrote in the next day to Hello, Cultivate Fertility, and they were like, "I did that thing they said to do yesterday and got the cell phone out of my room, and I slept better, I feel more rested."
yeah.
I mean, you could so many people wrote in, so it's really real, that one. I mean, it sounds some of these things, they just don't sound like,
Yeah.
you want that moment of like, "This is gonna change my life," but that will change your life. That is a huge difference if you get deep, restful sleep.
And when we're talking about health, there's never just like one thing. Okay. It's always just a series of small tweaks, 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 tweaks,
Mhm.
tweaks. And then it's, then you're just like, all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm actually not stressed so much. I'm actually
Mhm.
managing better. I'm actually happier in my days. What we want for the women that we work with, or the people that we work with, is that they're happier in their days, that their days feel more fun, that they feel bright and alive. Like that is the best thing for your fertility, for your longevity. Like the people in the blue zones like their days.
Yes, and another thing that these people do, is that they actually I can't it's funny that I'm saying this to you because 'cause you're a big believer in this and you talk to all our all our patients about this, but they actually put work into their relationships. So, you know, this is I think people who've been married a long time or in a long relationship sort of get this concept, but I don't think we nurture enough of our relationships, and so the people in the blue zones actually spend time and energy reaching out to their loved ones, their family, making sure they see them, making them a meal, checking in with them when they know they had a bad day. They actually put the effort in, and it's incredible. So that can look like a few things in your daily life. So a little daily ritual, like something that can help you with your emotional detox. And I just did this yesterday where I called, that really sweet older lady. I know Teresa in Boston. So I love this lady. And I've known her, so long. And she is just this like ray of sunshine, this woman. So I was walking to work and it was like cold and rainy and kind of icky yesterday and I was like freezing and kind of hustling there. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call Teresa. So I called her up and I have to say, she just lifts your energy and she picks up the phone. Oh, honey, how are you exciting. And I can't believe you called today because it's so-and-so's birthday. Like I was like somehow psychic calling her. She's just like the cutest human being and so positive, and like she lifts you up. So I will tell you, you will know who in your life is this person because, I take my kids out to dinner with her. They leave. They're like, I love her. Like they just go on and on. I love her. These people, put them on your like to-do list of I'm going to call that person twice a week just to hear their voice and have them like lift me up, And so it really works. This is like super basic stuff, but my whole day was better because I just made that like 5-10 minute phone call.
So we're going to give you 3 things to lower your cortisol and help balance your stress hormones. I'm like, where am I?
Should we give them Teresa's phone number?
So you're going to sleep with your phone outside your room, even though it's uncomfortable, even though you're stressed, and even though you don't think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do that. 2, and you're going to add to your to-do list the good positive side, which is connect with or send love or receive love to one person in your life who really helps to fill your spirit. And the more you give love and receive love and give love and receive love, your stress hormones go, oh, today's going to be a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good day. Okay. And then the third thing that I want is when you're making food today, and we're tomorrow on Friday on Doctors in Demand, we're going to talk a lot about food, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But when you're making food, you're going to have music on. It is the simplest, easiest way to switch, or when you're doing the dishes, or when you're doing something hard. Like if you're doing something that's a little bit challenging or feels rote and annoying, if you're folding laundry, or then do it with music that you freaking love. Dance. Like just it shifts the vibe. It can make it just so that if you like are drudging through something, but then all of a sudden you have on, I don't care. Like in my house, we sometimes turn on Hamilton the musical and my kids start freaking rapping. It's awesome.
Oh, and they sing so loud. They belt it out. Yeah, I did a whole drive with them, her three kids singing Hamilton the musical.
I know,
before I even saw Hamilton the musical, I was like,
no, it's so crazy. But or rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Like or I don't even know all the words, but like, hey, mama, rock me. And all of a sudden, if I'm singing, I am naturally bringing down my stress hormone or shifting my resentment or I'm just making an experience that can be rote, annoying, challenging, more fun and have just a better vibe.
So it has to be something you're going to sing too. You got to sing. It's not just like I'm listening to classical music and it's calming all my little cells and healing me. No, you're singing the music loud.
Okay. So
it's like a shower, singing in the shower mix you can download on Spotify. Like that's what you want.
So good. And like, just watch how your life feels more manageable. It's just going to make you feel more manageable. And like, I'm sorry, no offense to anybody in the news industry or anything like that, but do not listen to anything except music that makes you freaking jam in the car or on your commute. Like just bring more art and fun and vibe into your life. Like get it going on. If you're going to do a transfer, do it with fun music. Don't listen to a podcast about fertility. Do it to fun music. You want to pump yourself up. So those are the 3 things that we want you to do to control excessive production of cortisol, just like you asked. Thank you for asking that question. And we obviously go way more in depth in our programs, right? Or when we're working with patients. But the most satisfying thing in this work with stress hormones is that it's so recoverable. Like you can really heal and shift this. And like Kara was saying, it transforms your face.
Mm-hmm.
When you smile, it makes your energy so much brighter and bigger. You're literally a beacon for like, I am having a good vibe. And you see these people walking down the, you see what it feels like when somebody's in a great vibe versus in a like very low vibration. And we want this to be part of your vibe today. So do.
Dun, dun, dun. Lovely. I will see you next time.
Okay, everybody, thanks for being with us today.